stack of ordinances back there. You can pick that up on your way out so that you can have that. You don't have to do it right now. You can do it on your way out. Sure, appreciate it. Thank you all for being here tonight. The purpose of this called meeting of the Historic District Commission is to determine if the sign erected on the building located at 123 St. Denis Street was painted and installed without first obtaining an approval from the commission and a permit from the city permit office, whether the sign violates section 16, 1 through 40 of the Code of Natchitoches, and whether the commission should take action for violations of the Code of Natchitoches. Anytime the commission meets, it's open to the public, as is this meeting. And after the commission gets through with some questions that we have, there will be discussion or there will be comments from the audience if they pertained to this. We will get to that in a minute. At this time, though, Mr. Taylor, this meeting is between the commission and Mr. Taylor and not everybody else. This is what we're here for. And if you would mind going to the podium, please.
Can I speak?
Oh, sure. You can talk, Debbie. Sure. And if you'll just state your name and the property that you own.
Deborah Taylor, and we own 123 St. Denis.
Okay. And can I ask you, Deborah, too, that you also own a business in the district. You own several properties in the district.
Yes.
And you also have come before the commission when you wanted to put signs and or do construction work to other properties that you own.
Yes.
Is that correct? You have come before us. Thank you.
Yes, we have.
All right. Then what I would like to know, if you could please explain to us from start to finish how the sign came about and why you chose not to come before the commission to get permission for this sign.
Okay. First, I do want to apologize that we did not get permission. We were in the wrong on that, and I admit that. We never meant to offend anyone. Everything we have done on St. Denis is for community tourism through art and music. Knowing murals was an issue, we did not paint a mural on the building. We did not realize hanging a piece of art was going to be an issue. It does not face the street, it faces a private piece of property. Matthew Irby is a local artist and has done art all over the U.S. He worked closely with us to depict the history of Natchitoches and to represent Natchitoches for the city and the tourist. Our goal is to promote Natchitoches and being complementary together as a community. As Henry would say, meaning both sides of the tracks, to be community, which we believe this piece has done. We have had people from the last week from New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Shreveport, Bossier, and other areas just to come see this piece of art, which is bringing tourists into our city, which is something the city needs, and tourists is free money bringing into this city. Everything we have done, we did not ask the city for any money, including Second Saturdays, music in the park, the art. It was all to benefit Natchitoches for the community. Again, I apologize for not following the proper channels, but in reading the regulations, I do find them vague. I assure you, we will apply for permission through you for everything from now on, and I also want to thank everyone that came to support the art.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, commissioners, I'm going to ask you at this time, do you have any questions that have not been answered at this time that you might have for them?
I've got some. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You agree that this artwork, well, just tell me a little bit, is it attached to 123 St. Denis Street?
Yes.
The property, it's an addition to that property, right?
It's attached to it, yes.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. The park is 123 St. Denis, or the building is
The building is 123.
Okay, let's clarify that. Okay.
All right, so, y'all, is there another business located at 123 St. Denis Street?
We do rent that to another person that has a store.
Okay, and what's the name of the business that operates out of there?
Mystical Magnolia.
I'm sorry, what?
What's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Jared Donahoe. And I got distracted.
Mystical Magnolia.
Okay, and does Mystical Magnolia, do they have a sign already for their business on the property?
Yes,
Okay, so there's already one sign on the structure that advertises that building?
facing the street.
Okay, is this artwork, is it visible from St. Denis Street?
Not if you drive by, you cannot see it from the street.
So if I'm standing.
If I'm walking this way, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you're walking this way, you could see it.
So if I'm standing on St. Denis Street, it's visible from the street?
If you're standing, yes.
Yes.
And how is this piece of art attached to the building? Can you explain that to me?
Matthew would have to answer that. He's the one that put it up there for us, the artist.
Is Matthew here?
That's okay.
No, excuse me.
No,
Matthew?
we need the artist. No,
Hey,
we need the
Yeah, we're
artist.
not gonna.
excuse me.
Recognize the chair, from the chair.
Matthew, would you please go to the podium? No, ma'am. Not,
Well, just tell them. You don't have to tell them.
Y'all can go outside. You know,
sir.
go outside.
Okay, Matthew, you may answer the question, please.
The concrete board has been installed to the wall with concrete screws, masonry screws that were planted into the wall.
Is it screwed in to the mortar? Is it screwed into the brick? How is it screwed into?
It's right into the brick.
Okay. And just so the record's clear, this piece of art, it contains letters, it spells out Natchitoches, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's got various different images within the letters, is that correct?
It's one subject for each letter,
Okay.
outside of the letter C, which has 2 schools.
And the purpose of the sign is to attract attention to the sign, correct? I mean, that's,
Well, it's a piece of artwork. It's I didn't include Trabian into the sign. Did not write Taylor Park. I wrote Natchitoches. And it was, when I spoke with Henry and Debbie, my 2 subjects were the history and culture of Natchitoches.
right. It doesn't advertise any bona fide business that goes on within 123.
No, sir. I paid tribute to Kathy Fredericks by adding that there because it was, if not the oldest.
Historical building.
Yes.
I have one question. Matthew, did the Taylors come to you for the sign? Did they ask you to make the sign?
We were actually introduced by a friend. This was something that they had been looking to do for quite some time, and I was a person that has this ability.
To answer your question, we didn't seek him out to do this. You know, it's something we've talked about for a while, but knowing how it is about murals, and I get painting on a building, I get that, I totally do. The friend that introduced us, he came to us, showed us some of his pieces, so we choose to ask him to make this piece of art for us.
Okay.
And so I just have some questions about the decision when y'all made not to seek a permit to get approval for it. Did y'all, you said you thought the ordinance was vague. I just need to understand what you think's vague about it so I can understand why you didn't seek an application.
In looking at it, because it was listed as a sign, I don't consider this a sign, it's a piece of art. A sign is more directional, advertising type thing. So to me, it seemed vague. Maybe it's because I'm blonde, I don't know.
Ms. Taylor, I have looked this up, and this is from the Code of Natchitoches. And in the Code of Natchitoches, they, let me find that paper. The definition of the sign, a wall sign, is any sign that has been painted, any material, any medium that has been painted upon and attached to a building, regardless of what it is, whether it's art, whether it's anything, but that's in the Natchitoches Code. It's
I
actually,
did pull up your bylaws. It was a little tough to find them. Took me a while to find them, to be able to see what we were looking at.
right. You know, and also, you came several years ago to the commission and asked to do this and to do a mural, and at that time, we're told, not at this
I
time.
have never been to the commission to ask for a mural.
Henry, it was you and Kim Isbell, if you remember, that came before the commission.
I approached the board 10 years ago to do for Coca-Cola to do a mural on the side of the H.A. Cook building. I was informed at the time that we cannot deface or paint raw brick. So that was scrapped 10 years ago. And this has been an ongoing effort for the past 10 years to do something to highlight Natchitoches.
But
And our
that's what I'm
understanding for the
talking about.
Coca-Cola
Yeah.
one, that was something Coca-Cola was going to do. We
But
could
the
not do
fact-
so much advertising.
Well, the fact is that you did come before us and you asked, you know, and you knew that you should come. And I appreciate you saying that you all apologize for that and that you understand that you did not get permission. Mr. Yerby, I do have a question for you, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Back at the end of April, you contacted me, and when I got back from my trip, it was mid-May,
Mid-June.
and you and I talked on the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember this discussion that we had?
Yes, ma'am.
About murals and paintings in the downtown area? And that we were in the process, the commission was in the process of trying to come up with an ordinance for murals and/or signs, artwork like this, and that we as a commission have to write it and approve it. Once it's approved, it goes to the city council. It's introduced at one of their meetings and is voted upon at another meeting. And I told you that it would be 2 to 3 months before this would be done. And my question to you is, did you convey that at all to the Taylors? And why did you choose to paint it when you knew that we were trying to do some rules and ordinances and guidelines for this?
I think we started before that conversation.
So I actually was 3/4 done with the mural when you finally contacted me back. I reached out to you in very late April,
Right?
and it was weeks before I had a return phone call, and I'm,
Right, because I told you I was out of the country and I would be back.
yes, ma'am. And I
You
said
know.
that I was in town to work and I was hungry.
Right,
And
you
it
told me
was-
you had to eat and you were hungry and things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there were other places to go to find out about this, not just me. Just because I sit as chairman, we have a liaison through the city of Natchitoches. I just wanted that to be clear. I didn't know if you had told the Taylors about our conversation or not.
We spoke quite a bit. I also, September of last year, whenever Citibank approached to do a mural, this ordinance was still being written then.
Okay, and so.
No, it was
I
not.
just want, I want to make sure she gets an answer to your question. Did you tell the Taylors that Ms. Alter had informed you that as the rules currently existed, that murals were not permitted, but that we were working on trying to see if the city council would pass an ordinance to permit murals? Did you convey that information to the Taylors?
It was before that. I was almost completed with the mural. No, sir. it's
Before you
no, I
put
did
it
not.
up, did you tell them that Ms. Alter had told you that these were not permitted?
Before I put it up, I spoke to them and said that Ms. Salter called me,
And told you that these were not permitted?
said that murals were not permitted. This is,
I'm not
currently
going to
it's,
argue about semantics, about whether or not it's a mural or anything like that. I just want to understand, because it colors how I view how the process went about. If the Taylors didn't know that you had been told that this was not permissible, then that's one thing. If they knew, that's another thing. And I just want to make sure I understand the facts. So did you communicate what Ms. Salter had told you to the Taylors before you erected it?
He mentioned to us that he'd had a conversation with her. I do not remember anything about an ordinance being done up. I don't know if he mentioned that, and I didn't recognize that.
and I'm actually, to be completely honest, I don't recall actually telling them that, but I don't remember if I did or not. I just remember saying that I did speak with
Okay.
Mrs. Salter.
And honestly, I don't find Matthew at fault. We purchased a piece of art. That's all we did, was commission him to do a piece of art. Having it on the building is not his fault in any way, shape, or form.
That is true. It's not his fault for that. But what we're trying to determine is that it goes still back, if he had told you about our conversation, they were not permitted, you still did it anyway. without getting our
No, ma'am.
permission.
He had told me that you were out of country, that you had called him, told him you'd talk when you get back. That's all I remember about that conversation.
Okay, that's fine. That's all we need to know.
I just need some help about how to proceed, okay?
Okay.
Or how I'm gonna vote on this. We had another gentleman, Dr. Green, who's the orthodontist, who's spent a small fortune, I'm sure, revitalizing the property on Front Street, and I don't remember the address.
I don't know what it is.
I know
But
who you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about. He had filed an application with us several months ago, and included in that application was a request to do a piece of art on the side of his building. And I think there was a large majority of the people on this commission that thought it was very well done, the proposal, and if we would have had the ability to approve it, I think we probably would. But I think the consensus was, my recollection was that based on the rules, we weren't allowed to approve it, and so we denied it. So I'm trying to reconcile how I'm supposed to deal with the guy who did everything right, filed an application, it got denied because the rules don't permit it. How am I supposed to look him in the face and say, well, we're gonna apply the rules as to you, but we're not gonna apply the rules as to the Taylors?
I understand.
You understand the difficulty with
I
that?
do,
How am I
yes.
supposed to deal with that?
I can't tell you how to deal with that, honestly.
I mean, you agree the rules should apply to everybody, right?
I do. And like I said, we should have followed the rules. But I do know that if I'd come to you, even if he had drawn up a mock-up and we showed it to you, you would have denied it and we would not have had this piece of art.
Well,
That's-
okay, so you knew that had you filed an application,
I assume.
you assumed that if we were gonna deny it because our rules didn't permit it. You understand that we're just volunteers, right? You understand that?
I understand that.
We don't get paid to be here. We get appointed by the mayor of Natchitoches to volunteer I think, first Monday of every month to come up here and spend an hour trying to enforce the rules that the city council passes. You understand that? We don't make these rules. It's not our choice about whether or not to permit this or that. We simply look at an application and then look at the rules the law that the city council has passed and decide whether or not the application complies with those rules. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And whether or not we agree or disagree with whatever rule the city council has passed, that's not really our position. Our position is simply to enforce the rules that they pass. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you understand that if an application is denied, there's an appeals process to the city council. And
Yes, sir.
if you don't like our ruling and think, no, it is permissible under the rules, we think the commission messed up, which we're not perfect. We can make mistakes and not apply things correctly. Then the city council can overrule our decision. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you decided not to do that. You decided just to put it up.
I honestly felt because it was a piece of art and not a mural painted on the building that it was a totally different thing. I understand what you're saying, that it's semantics.
I mean, did you look at the definition of what constitutes a sign before you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, and I'm going to kind of walk through it. You agree that this piece of art contains letters?
Yes.
Okay. You agree that it is attached to the building, correct?
Yes.
You agree that it is visible from a public street?
He said so. I don't believe so.
So you don't think if I'm standing anywhere on St. Denis Street, at any vantage point, I can see this sign?
If you are standing on St. Denis Street, yes, you can see it. But if you're driving down the one-way street, no, you cannot. Unless you stop in the middle of the street and look back.
Okay, I just was asking, is it visible from any public street?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't I mean, so I think that kind of meets the definition under the code of what a sign is. The next rule says that the only sign, no sign shall be permitted unless it, and I'll get the exact wordage, unless such sign advertises a bona fide business conducted in or on the premises. And it doesn't do that,
It's
right?
not an advertisement.
Well, it's a sign, and it doesn't do that, right? I mean, we allow signs that advertise businesses.
That's,
Okay, so it advertises the city of Natchitoches.
Okay, all right. That's not a bona fide business conducted at 123 St. Denis Street, right?
make it a
Okay.
piece of art.
It's a piece of art that Natchitoches, the Taylor Park has.
Well, let me ask you, art's pretty subjective, right? What's good art, what's bad art, very subjective, right?
All art is
Yes.
art, good and bad.
That's right. And, you know, I was telling somebody earlier, I've been begging my wife for 10 years to put a blue dog up in our house, because I just love those paintings. She doesn't like them, or at least she doesn't think it'd be right for our house. And so I've lost that battle every single time, as you could probably appreciate. I can't get me and my wife to agree on what's pretty art, okay? And do you think it should be our responsibility to decide what's good art, what's acceptable art, what's not acceptable art? Do you think that's the role of the people on this commission?
That's not what we're asking.
Well, what do we, if we approve this and we allow this to go up, what do we do with the next application next month from another landowner that wants to put up a piece of art, but it wants to have a Confederate flag on there, or it wants to have a gay pride flag, or a swastika? Are we supposed to say, no, that's not acceptable art, but this is? How are we supposed to, I'm curious, how am I supposed to decide what's permissible art and what's impermissible?
Up to,
You need to come,
Denise,
they need to come.
Denise, excuse me. You will have a chance in just a moment, okay?
Denise, Denise. Ma'am, Denise.
to answer the question, I'm not sure of a piece of art that has been approved. So to answer that, we wouldn't know how to tell you that, because we wouldn't know, because you haven't approved a piece of art. Outside of, there's currently right now, there is,
Okay, let me stop right here for just a moment. I have put this together, and I think this is very, very important for everybody to hear this and to understand why the commission is here, what we do, how the historic district of Natchitoches has become a landmark district, and how that is so important to Natchitoches and what it has done for Natchitoches, and why it is so important to preserve that. And this is part of what we're here for, and does include art on walls. In 1973, the Louisiana Historical Preservation and Cultural Committee approved an application seeking to have a historic district established in the city and parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana. The historic district was approved by the U.S. Department of Interior for listing on the National Registry of Historic Places in March of '74. On August the 8th of 1977, the City Council of Natchitoches passed Ordinance Number 50, creating the establishment of a particular area of the city of Natchitoches to be designated as the Natchitoches Historic District. In this ordinance was the establishment of the Historic District Commission. In 1984, after several years of working with U.S. Senator J. Bennett Johnston and the U.S. Department of Interior, the Natchitoches Historic Landmark District was formed under the supervision of the National Parks and Recreation Department. The U.S. Department of Interior requires a Historic District Commission be in place to regulate all requirements and ordinances to be met under the standards set forth not only by the Department of the U.S. Interior and the City Code of Natchitoches. At that time, Natchitoches had already had the establishment of the Historic District Commission to meet the department's requirements. For those of you in the audience who are old enough to remember, in 1984, when we had the establishment of this landmark district, most of Front Street consisted of vacant storefronts and some were even boarded up. With the establishment of the Natchitoches Historic Landmark designation, the Natchitoches downtown area was automatically added to the National Register of Historic Places, and all buildings were listed on the National Registry. So if you own a property in the landmark district, it is on the National Registry. Having the status opened the door for businesses and property owners to apply for grants and tax credits. Over the years, millions of dollars in federal and state grants have been awarded to Natchitoches because of this designation. Some of these monies are funded through our local Main Street program, the Natchitoches Historic District Development Commission, the Natchitoches Convention and Visitors Bureau, and even the Cane River Waterway Commission. Examples of how this money was used include the preservation of the Prudhomme Rouquier home, now the Natchitoches home of the Natchitoches Service League, restoration of the Pacale Rock House on the downtown riverbank, the development of the downtown riverbank, including the amphitheater and stage, the painting of many downtown buildings, the preservation of structures in the district, and even the restoration of the old Archer Daniels Cotton Gin building, which is now the home of the Flying Heart Brewery. You can see how the Natchitoches downtown area has changed since 1984, with all the improvements in the buildings and the thriving businesses because of these monies received. Along with the privilege of receiving these grants comes the responsibility that the Natchitoches Historic Landmark District will remain true to its historic, architectural, and cultural heritage. The Natchitoches Historic Landmark District is only one of two landmark districts in the state of Louisiana, the other being the French Quarter in New Orleans. Natchitoches is the oldest settlement in the Louisiana Purchase, which is comprised of 1/3 of the United States. Do y'all realize our town is the oldest town in 1/3 of this United States, which dates back to 1714? The Natchitoches Historic District Commission has been charged with the preservation of this national treasure by the preservation of all structures in the historic district section of the city which have architectural and historical value and which should be preserved for the benefit of the people of the city of Natchitoches, the state of Louisiana, and the United States, following the guidelines set forth by the U.S. Department of Interior and the ordinance of the City Code of Natchitoches. We on this commission take everything we do very serious because of the importance that we have. And what we have in Natchitoches compared to so many downtowns, there's a lot of historic districts around, and every community has a historic district. But ours is so special because it's a landmark district. And in New Orleans, the French Quarter, you may not put up any murals, but you can in historic, outside of the landmark district, you can put up murals and artwork. But we take everything we do here very seriously, and I wanted to educate everybody to understand why we are here and how we got formed, and we are trying to do our best to preserve what Natchitoches has because it is a national treasure, according to the U.S. Department of the Interior. And that's one reason why tourists do come here. And we want to make Natchitoches a friendly place for tourists and give them opportunities while they are here. And this is why we are all trying to work together to do this. and we can come to some sort of an agreement, and that's what we wish to do. But that's not why we are here tonight. Tonight, we are here to settle this one little blip. And if there are there any other questions by the commission?
Yeah, I just want to be clear in my comments. Regardless of whether or not I think the art, I think you're an extremely talented artist. I think what you drew and painted was beautiful. I think it's great. And don't get me wrong. I'm not.
And it
trying-
has brought tourists into town.
That may be the case, and I don't doubt that. You've been able to observe it more than me. So I don't want there to be any implication that I'm speaking down to you or that I don't like your artwork. I think it's beautiful. I guess my question more is, what am I supposed to do if we allow this and somebody else comes and files an application and, hey, I might not like that artwork. I may say that's kind of offensive.
Well, Jared,
I don't think that, I don't think it's appropriate for us to get into the business of deciding what is acceptable art and what isn't acceptable.
if you'll excuse me, Mr. Donahoe, this is not quite what we're here for tonight. This discussion can take place a little bit later on. Commissioners first, are there any other questions?
Madam Chair, I do not have a question. I just want to say to Mr. Yerby, I think it is, and certainly Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, that I appreciate, number one, I wasn't an art major in college. That was my grandmother's area of involvement. And so I can't say a lot about visual art, as many I'm sure that can, or maybe those persons that are degreed or just fully educated, if you will, in visual or some form of art, or visual art, I guess I should say, because that's what we're talking about. I appreciate it, and most importantly, I appreciate your honesty in saying to the commission, we've erred more than anything else, and we're now having to just move forward. I recognize, I took it upon myself once I received the communique last week or the week before last about it, and I could tell that it wasn't on the building. And I approached the lady that's sitting right here, Miss Elizabeth, I think I'm correct in saying, in asking if I could go to the park to see along with a couple of other persons also. And I can appreciate, Mr. Yerby, it's a temporary piece. Initially, I thought that it was affixed to the wall as it had been presented. But more than anything else, it's a temporary piece. So it can come down just like I saw on another building, the Christmas in July piece that was affixed to the wall at another building. I'm not going to mention that because that's not relevant today. But it's a temporary piece. So in that it's temporary, I'm hoping that we can just move forward in saying we can take it down tomorrow, we can place it somewhere else, and/or it can be covered up maybe at the close of business every day, in that it's a temporary art piece and not a complete mural. I do appreciate, once again, you all saying we've erred. We're working to make certain, as she just read and said also, to do the right things as it relates to a historic district, and certainly that the district here in Natchitoches and the complete preservation. But at this time, I just believe because it's temporary, we just need to move forward and fully decide what happens, and that is temporary.
We will get to
based
that.
on the panels that I've seen. It's not totally affixed, and so it's just affixed to, when I say it, let me go back and say the boards. And what kind of boards, sir, are they? Do you know?
It's,
I'm sure you know if you did it.
It's 3/4 inch hardy board, which is concrete board.
It looks like hardy, okay.
It will not swell with humidity. It will last for as long as
Okay.
that building is standing.
Okay.
What's going to happen when the screws, if the sign's removed, it's obviously been drilled into the bricks?
So more so than anything of the problem that we possibly may face with that is that it has been sealed. When we spoke a long time ago, you said that that was one of the fears of having the preservation of the mural. And this is what I've done for the last 10 years. I understand how to preserve a mural. I placed 2 coats of very heavy-duty sealer on it. It is very possible that it is stuck to, it's not stuck to the wall. It's just possible that the boards possibly are stuck together, which means that it will bring difficulty to actually take it apart.
We had actually originally thought about putting it behind the bandstand. We have a frame back there that we have a screen to cover up that horrible, ugly wooden fences back there, and putting it back there, but that was directly across from the street. And so it was directly facing the street is why we did not put it there.
So putting it on the sidewall, and answering Mr. Donohoe's question, that's private park that we have invested private funds in for public use. And that artwork is there for the public enjoyment in the park. And there is no other private pocket park in Natchitoches. It's all public.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Do you have any questions for us right now until we continue with this? If not, so you may sit down for just a moment.
Do you have any questions? Okay.
Okay, at this time,
I have one.
Sure,
Just
sure,
one
Matt.
question. It's from you and I spoke. And
Right.
with all respect, you let me know that you did not want murals in this town, on these beautiful historic buildings in your hometown. That's what you told me.
I
Now-
told you that because of the historic value in this town, and I told you too that the commission was in the process of trying to write murals as well, an ordinance for the murals,
Yes, ma'am.
so that they could be allowed to a certain degree.
Yes, ma'am. And with
My
all-
personal opinion doesn't count
Yes, ma'am.
because I don't vote up here.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
And with all respect, this is not the first time that I have tried to be commissioned for a mural in the historic district, and I have always said, do you have it approved? Do you have everything like this? And this is the first time I've reached out because I've always been told is like, they don't want murals. You told me over the phone that you did not want murals. Now, if you're in my position, this is what I do for a living. Why would I spend 2 days creating a design for free to bring it to you, and I know that that's not something you want?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't understand. That doesn't really help me. If you knew that they weren't permitted, why would you go to the trouble of putting them? You agree that the rules apply to you just like they apply to everybody else,
Yes,
right?
sir, I do. It's like, again, it's like, I know that you don't like the terminology, but this is what I do for a living, and I do understand what a mural is. A mural is painted directly onto the wall.
that's correct, yes.
And that's why I said, if I wanted to, I didn't want to disrespect you guys. If I wanted to, I'd have went down there and started painting on the wall, and y'all would have shut me down halfway. I wouldn't do that to you guys. And it's like, I knew, because I have done hardy board in the past, that it is removable, it's built to last, and it will stay for many, many, many years, because it's protected so well from swelling, from breaking. It's strong. And in doing so, it's like, of course I educated myself on your laws. It's like, this is my hometown, and I want to make it very proud. You know,
All right, so you looked at the statute, you agree that at the very least what you did was an addition to the building. You added something to it, right?
to my knowledge and my understanding of the laws of the signage laws, I thought it was directly pertaining to a business.
I'm just asking, did you add something to the building? You added these concrete, I don't know what you call it, refer to them as boards or
The concrete
Hardy.
boards,
concrete boards. You added those to the building, right?
which, yes, sir.
And look, like I said, we're not a discretionary body. We just apply the rules that have been written. And the statute says the owner of any property within the historic district shall apply for a permit from the commission before the commencement of any work in, and it gives three things, one of which is the alteration or addition to any existing structure in the Natchitoches Historic District. So you added something to a structure in the Natchitoches Historic District. You knew you had to come get a permit before you made that addition to the building, right?
I thought that might be the case, so I drove around the historic district 2 days before I started this project to see the signs that are around. I wanted to educate myself on the colors. I wanted to see which ones were, like, if there's guidelines I need to stay under. And the color palette went from purple to wherever. There's pizza currently painted on the windows at the brewery. That's directly onto the building. So I wasn't certain of what the laws were. It seemed to be there. And so at this point, I took what I do for a living. I'm an independent contractor. I'm a hired gun that somebody paid me to paint, and that's what I did, off-site. And my only client in this was Henry and Debbie. Nobody else commissioned me.
All right, we understand that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to open this up for discussion or comments from the public. However, two things. One, you'll be limited to 3 minutes, and number two, The subject matter is if a violation was occurred to obtain a permit. It has nothing to do with subject matter, whether you like art, whether you don't like art, period. Is that understood? So, yes, ma'am, you right here. If you'll go to, do you have a,
She has to go to.
you must go to the, yes.
Live stream.
Does this pertain to getting permission from the commission or permit?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I would think so. May not. Don't introduce yourselves, I'm not sure who everybody is up there.
Know a few people. Camille Hawthorne. I recently moved back to Natchitoches, just a temporary place. But as I was moving around town, some things have changed. My father used to own Natchitoches Lumberyard, which is now Bank of Montgomery. But I noticed when I was going out of town one day on Washington Street that there's a picture on the wall there, and wondering, is that considered mural, artwork, permission, and does he go through the same permissions that Bank of Montgomery went through to get that on there? Because that's certainly seen by everybody on the road, whereas like he said, I really had to wonder when it was put on Facebook, where was that mural? I couldn't tell. And then finally, you could see when you drilled in, oh, that's over there at that park, which I'm assuming someone said it was a private park. There is a business there, and wondering, are we applying this to a private park business?
There are two things, Ms. Hawthorne, with that one. Number one, they too did not come before the commission for approval for that. But number two, that was a new constructed building. That is not an old historical structure that is in the landmark district. It was a new build, that particular part.
Bank of Montgomery, there on the side,
That, yeah,
that little piece right there?
yeah, when they redid that.
But it was
Okay.
not approved by the commission.
It was
That-
not
No
approved.
application put forward.
Okay,
No.
all right, cool. When was Exchange Bank built? Was that before this? Because it certainly is an eyesore.
It was
It
before the
was
Historic District Commission was
Before
formed.
72? I meant to walk down there and look at the
It was
cornerstone
before I
on
moved
that.
here in '76, so.
It was
So,
torn
it
down.
was before
All
the
that was
commission.
before this
Yeah,
came
that's a
into play.
shame, because that was a
Okay,
beautiful
you're-
old building.
Okay, it's time to move on. Okay, only if it pertains to permitting. Okay.
Okay, so I heard,
Wait, sir, go to the podium. State your name, please.
my name is, nobody said you did. My name is Michael Wayne Graves. Daniel Graves was my father. He was on this commission. In around 1994, I think, Luke and Sydney's dad, Fredericks, friends with my dad. So we had George Olivier of Olivier's Furniture. Shalon, his daughter, runs it now. George passed away. He made the sign, and we drew it up, and I drew the letters on it, brought it to the commission at the time. I don't know if any of you members are from 1994 or not. Anyway, got it approved, I painted it, it still hangs there to this day. I went by, I met Yerby on Facebook, we're Facebook friends. Told him I would see him here, didn't I tell you I was gonna be here? Okay. I went by and I first seen it just on people that I know from Natchitoches, because I grew up here. I graduated high school here before I went in the Army. And I seen a bunch of people taking pictures in front of that sign. So me being an artist, I wanted to look at it, I looked at it, and online, I looked at it and I was like, whoa, that's really nice.
So
I
what does
actually
this have to
went
do
by
with
there.
getting a permit or not?
Okay, so I think that with a few changes, that it could fall under the historical ramifications, the limitations. What year period are you trying to stay under? Because Natchitoches has history that goes back to, what, 1700s at least, really before that, since the beginning of creation, actually. But my point is, there's a lot of history that could be put on there, and not so much the steel magnolias and all the later stuff, but you could keep it within the time period of the historic district, whatever it is that y'all are trying to keep. What's the year that,
Okay, well, that has nothing to do with obtaining a permit.
because that place, that, the
Oh.
other mural you were talking about, that building that used to be there, that was a museum, my dad, Daniel, was also a curator of that museum. where they
Sir.
tore it down and there's a fountain in there.
Okay, you're
That
not-
mural is more time period. It's like some people on a buggy.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Later. Nice meeting you
Thank
guys.
you. Okay.
Whoever said you don't know me, I ain't with you.
Okay, hold on. Only comments about permits, nothing about any kind of art or anything else. Is there
Permits.
anything else about permits? Sir in the yellow shirt.
My name is Ryan Stronghouse, and I'm reading the definition of signs under section 16.140. And you pulled some excerpts from this code, but I wanted to read it, consecutively, because I think it is vague under the circumstances of this particular permit. Number one, sign shall include any symbol, device, image, poster, flag, banner, billboard, design, or directional sign used for advertising purposes, whether painted upon, attached to, and the rest. There really is a very specific point there for advertising purposes, and it seems vague. If I were to want to put up a sign and reading the code, I would consider, no, I don't qualify. So I consider it vague. And
All
I
right,
want,
so here's my question. What do you want us to do if we think there's a vagueness in the rules? We just say, hey, we're going to ignore the rules and not follow them?
I think the rules are good, and I think we have to look at each case. You mentioned, what if a swastika, or a pride flag, or this, or that? But that's a separate issue. And I don't think really we can conflate that to the purposes of this particular permit. Under the definition of sign, it says, for advertising purposes.
And Ms. Cook said it advertises Natchitoches. She said that from the podium, right?
It's not advertising a product or anything known.
I agree
The
with
code
that.
goes on
then it's still
to say
vague as far
that,
as-
letters, figures, numerals, phrases, sentences, emblems, marked by anything that is made known. What is Natchitoches a product now? So it's, what is it advertising?
Some people,
It's
yes.
advertising the essence of a town and a pride. So, that point of advertising, I think, is what I'm stressing here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Denise? Oh, excuse me, Denise. Let Mr. Taylor speak.
Mr. Donovan, I'd like to point out real quick, the bylaws do need to be updated. It points out the wooden bridge in the bylaws. Excuse me, there has not been a wooden bridge in historic
When
Natchitoches.
you talking about bylaws, what are you talking about?
Y'all,
Are you talking about the Natchitoches code?
The
that is
codes,
passed by
yes.
the
It
city
talks about
council? Hold on, I want to
Yes.
make sure we're talking about the same thing. Are you talking about the Natchitoches code that's passed by the city council?
The definition of the historic district includes the definition of the wooden bridge. So I'm saying it needs to be updated to where other people can understand it. You and I know where the wooden bridge was.
And I just want to look, I'm not arguing with it. I just want to make
No,
sure
there's
me
no
and you're
argument,
talking
sir.
about the same document.
Yeah.
When you say it needs to be updated, you're talking about the code of ordinances for the Natchitoches, city of Natchitoches,
The
right?
definition of the historic district.
Which is contained in the code of Natchitoches, right?
Right.
You realize we don't write that.
I didn't say you did.
I
I said it
just wanna- I
needs to
asked
be
you, you
updated.
understand
because
that, right?
Some of the language in it is archaic. Some of it we don't have anymore.
I agree. And I think, I don't know when the next city council meeting, but I'll go with you. And me and you can talk to the city council, and I'm all for anybody that wants to participate in making the historic district better. And look, I got a lot of things to do with my time. I spend an hour of it every month coming up here and listening to applications. If you want to help me out and go to the
I'd be
city
more
council
than
with
willing
me,
to help.
and we can get these revised, I'll be right there with you. I'll donate more of my time.
Okay,
to
let's
do it.
move along.
Because we are all
Thank you,
one
Mr.
community,
Taylor.
and we're not trying to fight against
Oh, I
y'all.
know.
We're all one community.
I know. Okay, Denise, 3 minutes is all you have. If it pertains to the permit.
It does, but I also have to have a second to speak on the compassion.
No,
Will you let me
it's-
will you let me have this?
No, it's about.
Permit and compassion.
There will be
He
another.
painted this mural for history of Jugereau Saint Denis on Saint Denis Street.
We
For
understand,
the-
we
I know,
understand.
I know. Please let me
Denise,
speak. Can I speak?
This is
Please,
not what this
Miss
meeting-
Marion, please. I'm a lifetime resident of Natchitoches. I'm
We are-
passionate about this. I'm part of this project too. Please, just give me a second, please. I understand. You won't let me finish. Can I finish my statement, please? This is part of the problem.
Denise.
I understand the
speak to
permit.
permit,
I
please.
understand the permit.
You're speaking out of it. You're speaking out of you're not germane to the issue. We're talking about a permit for signage in the district. Please stay with permit, nothing else.
Okay, Steve, you are my advisor, my lifelong friend too. Listen, I understand
But
this.
please stay with it, otherwise don't say.
I'm
don't-
trying to apologize, but make you understand if you won't let us speak. That was our way to speak.
There will be other opportunities to speak when a proper application is made, okay?
The proper
We are not here.
application
We are
was
not here to speak
presented-
about about the mural.
Mr. Denise, just
Okay,
go
look.
ahead. Say what you have to say, Mr. Denise. Go ahead, go ahead. No, say what you have to say about the permit, so we can all move. Thank you for your
You
kindness.
said something, I just want, you said a proper application was presented.
No, it was talked about, but it
That's
was
not the
put
same.
off. And when you see other murals around town, which to our thought was, they have it, I want to know why we can't have it. That was number one. Second of all, again, we thought it was a sign because the mural is painted on the bricks. This was not. It is our apology that we did that. But we also said, maybe with the people that see it will understand and then we can get a permit, or y'all will understand the reasoning behind it. And to your question, Mr. Donahoe, if anything comes up and arises for a question of somebody bringing you an application or an idea, I'm an artist too. When someone brings this to you, you can say, what is it about? Tell me what you're doing. I'm promoting
Okay,
the town
back
I
to the
live in.
permit.
I'm promoting the town. That's all I want to do. Bring
Okay,
the
we
community
understand,
together.
Denise,
That's
and
all
we
wanna
appreciate
do.
your passion. We all have
I'm
passion
very
for the city.
passionate. I'm sorry, but I'm very
We all love Natchitoches, or we wouldn't be here. Okay, thank you very much, Denise. You can
Miriam.
sit down, please.
Miss Miriam, can I just state for the
Yes,
application?
Ms. Rock. Yes, go ahead.
Just to give some reference on how an application works. When an application is submitted to our office, we require everything that's presented. So this would have been addressed if the application had been submitted. We would have been able to see what was being presented, given the diagrams, given the colors, given the drawings, given everything for them to be able to make a rightful choice. So that's what a permit requires, submitting everything to us before it comes before the commission.
I can't imagine that there's this much to say about whether a permit was permitted or not.
I just have some questions. Can you wake him up then? Can I ask you a question?
Does it pertain to a permit?
Very much pertains-
Okay, you may go to the podium.
It is.
You have to state your
questions
name.
about permits, which
Excuse
he
me,
was
state
hoping
your
to
name.
answer. My name is Stoney T. Brown, and I'm just curious if anyone can answer, how many mural permits have been,
None,
none,
None.
ever?
none. Well, I
None?
take that back. We
Well,
had
one
one
with
before.
Dr. Green.
Dr. Green, but that's it?
That's it.
One ever in the history of the commission?
One, how many have been applied or have approved? I can
No. How many have been applied for?
apply for, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
We had
One
Dr.
single
Green.
one since 1984.
But here's the
I
thing.
think way more than that.
Yeah.
This is
Several,
84
but
or
one
recently?
formal application was from Dr. Green.
That's correct. So one since 1984 for murals in the historic
But we have
district.
5 after this one.
So what's that?
We have 5 other applications after
So
this one.
6 now? Are there any secret ones since 1984? I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just trying to be clear.
I don't have a conscious, I don't have a
We all were not
memory of
here
every
since
application.
1984.
Well,
sitting
I
on
mean,
this
I'm
commission.
assuming y'all have records, I'm just guessing. I've never, I don't have anything to do with this commission.
Okay, move on.
obviously.
What's the point? What's your?
I'm just
you wanna know?
asking questions. How
Okay.
many
Yeah, I
have been
think-
applied for?
My recollection, you're asking me a question. I think there was an application on the side of the Britton building to do one years ago that we denied, on Britt's old building. I want to say there was an application there that was not approved. So I don't want to give you false information. I don't.
Yeah. Is there anywhere I could search for that information, like at the public library or something like that?
Would it
No,
not
it
be
would've been
planning
our
and zoning, Ms.
zoning
Rock?
office.
Your area? Planning and, right, Mr. Brown, right here with planning and
The only
zoning, Ms.
thing
Rock.
is,
Okay,
it's not
great.
anything that says specifically that each application
Mm-hmm.
is based upon the address and who made the application.
Earlier in the meeting, it was stated that an ordinance, y'all were trying to change the ordinance in some way, shape, or form, or at least establish a different ordinance.
Create, yeah.
How long has that process been going on?
For a period of time.
I think we discussed it the last two meetings ago, that we talked about.
Short period of time.
And make sure you understand the process. We were going to propose an ordinance to the city
To
council.
the city council,
Yeah,
and they hash out the issues?
They decide whether or not to pass it.
Okay, so how does that process go down for you guys to get it to the city council? I'm asking these questions because since this piece of art has been in the park, I've been right there seeing the whole thing unfold, and the city is very pumped about it, all
Yeah,
right?
and look, just so
And
it's
hey,
clear,
I'm
we
not,
don't-
all I'm saying is they're pumped about it. So,
I get, just so
It
you
would
understand,
behoove
we're
all of
not
us
only
as the
ones-
community.
Let me finish. We're not the only ones that can propose awards. You can go to the
Right.
city, let me finish. You can go to the city council and you can say, Councilman, Mayor, I think we need to change the law. Here's a proposal to permit. It doesn't have to come from us.
okay, good. This is all good information for probably everybody in this room, right? Okay, excellent. Maybe that'll take a little heat off of you guys' shoulders, right? I don't know, I'm just guessing. And ma'am, you're looking at me like I'm evil or something. I don't know why.
no.
I mean, there's a bit of an attitude in this whole room.
Actually.
So let's break it up, huh? It's all good. We're all here to make sure
Okay.
Natchitoches
Okay.
is
You're
good,
clean.
right?
Okay, Stoney, you're
Because it
clean.
kind of seems like everybody's pissed. So let's all just take a step back and say, hey, it's all good. We're going to figure it out together, right? Okay. I hope we all can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stoney. Okay, we're moving along now. Okay, there's one other. It's about the permit? Okay. State your name, 3 minutes.
My name is Mary Striegel. I'm a retired National Park Service employee, and I'm very familiar with the importance of the National Historic Landmark designation. It seems to me that Mr. Donahoe has asked several times, what would we ask the commission to consider? You have some options. You can ask them to remove the sign, but keep in mind that it is not a typical sign. It is not advertising a business. It is not advertising the city. It is a piece of artwork, and I do understand that still needs permission. They should have come for permission. We all understand that. So the options are to remove the sign, to wait until the city passes an ordinance, or does the commission have the potential of offering a special exception? Can you offer a special exception for a sign which promotes the city?
I'm not sure. That is something that I'd have to research on that, because we are handed very specific guidelines.
Yes.
So,
I know within the National Park Service, there is always the possibility of a special exception if it has been thoroughly vetted with the community and the community has an opportunity to voice their opinions. They can then consider a special exception. It may not be your role. It may be city council's
That's
role.
what
I
I've been
was-
trying to say all along.
Yeah.
This
Right.
is, we have an ordinance to follow, but
Right.
when you give things, the city council's got to approve that. That's where the appeal process comes
Right.
in. They can override.
Right.
But we don't have the right to say, no, we're not going to follow the ordinance, but the city council can do whatever it wants.
Right. So
That's the
this
control.
community needs to know that they need to speak to their city councilman and they need to ask the city to consider a special exception for this sign, if that's their will.
No,
Right?
not right now.
It's just put us in a compromising situation because the group of us do not have the right to make these changes arbitrarily.
Yeah, and I just want to read so the public can be aware what we're told we have to do. This is not something that we want to do or we have discretion. We got asked to be on this committee and we're serving, and it tells us under the code to enforce. It says any owner who shall violate the Natchitoches Historic Ordinance, which I think everybody acknowledges was violated, a permit wasn't applied for, shall be fined not less than a certain dollar amount for each infraction. We shall do it. We don't have any option about it. It's not our choice. Now, that ruling, our decision, can be appealed to the city council, and they can decide whether or not to overrule us. But we don't have discretion on whether or not to follow these rules. I wish I did, but I don't have that discretion.
Mrs. Rock, did you have something to say?
I just wanted to, that the commission makes a decision based upon if an application was presented and if the application followed the rules. After that decision is made, if whoever made the application does not agree with what your findings are, then they go to city council. But the commission does have to make a decision on this particular event because rules were not followed and the application was not submitted.
Right.
So based upon what you do from there, then they go to city council.
And it's my understanding from reading this, we don't have discretion about what the punishment is. The way I rule this is we shall fine them between $50 and $100.
Correct.
It's not, oh, well, we really like these people, we really like this mural, and so we don't want to fine them at all. We have to do that.
A decision has to be made on whether or not the mural will stand, whether or not the other issues will be addressed, whether or not they're going to submit an application and what date the application will be submitted. And then during that time, what you're going to require them to present for that application.
Ms. Rock, let me ask you a question, having said that. Now, do we officially consider this as that of a mural or a piece of design? I heard what you said.
It is not a mural.
I heard what you said, mural. So, and I'm saying that simply because others are hearing just as I am, so we need to be very clear on that also, because it's not today a mural in actuality. So, are we saying as a
It's going to be what
piece
the
of...
commission design says it's going to be. Is it defined as a sign, or we're going to define it as artwork, or we're going to define it as a mural? No matter what, according to the ordinance, anything that is done within the historic district, whether it be anything attached to a building or not, if it's not a sign, or if it's not a mural, if it's not artwork, if it's attached to a building, it has to make application before HDC
Let me ask you, when is the next city council meeting?
on the 10th, I
The
think.
10th of August.
Hold on, let me see.
So if we were to say, and, the sign needs to be removed within 30 days from today, and if it's not removed by that date, then the fine will start being applied. That would give time for the Taylors to go to the city council, appeal this decision, and not have to pay any fine or even remove it. The city
No.
council can then make the decision, right?
No. You, as the commission, have the authority to say, this is what the fine and penalties will be. This is what my decision, or the commission's decision is, because you are the Historic District Commission. The only thing the city council can do is override whatever decision you make.
That's what I'm saying. We can say, but we can say, look, we think there was a violation because the permit wasn't filed. So our instruction is remove the sign, do so within 30 days. If you don't remove it within 30 days, we'll they'll start paying a $50 fine per day. And that's our ruling. They can then appeal that ruling to the city council.
So after your meeting tonight, whatever your decision will be, then they have 10 days to appeal it. But it's not a guarantee that the next city council meeting, that application will be heard.
Yeah, I can't control
The
that.
city council might decide to put that off for another 6 months, depending on what else they have on the agenda.
What I'm trying to accomplish is, if there's going to be a special exception by the city council, then this gives the opportunity, they're going to override our decision, that this gives the Taylors the opportunity to make that appeal before they start having to pay a fine or even have to remove it. If we give them 30 days to remove the sign or start getting fined, they'd have that time period to do it, right? If that's our rule, if we say, hey, they violated the rules, they didn't get a permit, so remove the sign within 30 days or start paying a penalty. That's our decision.
Okay.
That decision can be appealed to the city council and maybe get on the agenda for August. And then if the city council overrules that decision, then the sign never comes down and they never pay a fine.
More than 30 days.
What's it say? 5. Actually, it says 5.
Is,
5 days.
Mr. Toes, is that an agreeable
I
way
don't
of
think you can give
proceeding?
them 30 days, though.
Does that sound reasonable to y'all?
I don't think
That
you
would
can
be
give
my
them 30
motion.
days. How
I
many
would-
days, Mary?
Okay, pardon me.
How many days did it give?
I know about the city council, I know that that's not your specialty. But it, and from what I remember, you bring it up one meeting and it's not voted on until the next,
That's correct.
That's correct.
which is way beyond the 30-day window.
I think they meet twice a month, right?
They meet
We've
twice a
already
month.
met, well, they'll meet
Yesterday,
twice,
we
it'd be, yeah.
It's introduced and then it's voted on.
But don't they
I
have
can
the
make it-
authority to extend the time period?
We can make the time
They
do
can-
whatever we want.
Yeah, we can make it
that-
whatever
yeah,
we
can
want.
I'll
extend
make it 60.
Okay,
the
okay,
time
okay,
period,
hold on.
yeah.
Mr. Donahoe, are you ready to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
My
ahead.
motion is that the Taylors be asked to remove the sign within 60 days. If the sign is not removed within 60 days, that they be fined the minimum amount authorized by the code of $50 per day until it's removed. If the sign's not removed within 60 days, that the city attorney take action to have it removed through the judicial system. That's my motion.
And I
I'll second it.
that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, if I get all this correct, that the commission requires that the Taylors remove the sign within 60 days. And if that sign is not removed within the 60 days, there will be a penalty of $50 per day after that 60 days has expired until, what was it?
Until it's removed.
Until it is removed. Yes, it's been seconded by Dr. Horton.
No other applications? No other applications to be made?
Not at this point.
Okay. Not at this point?
Okay, all those in favor? Roll call, please, by, Donna, would you please call roll?
Mr. Jared Donahoe,
Yes.
Dr. Steve Harden,
Yes.
Mr. Drake Owens,
Yes.
Ms. Melissa Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Ralph Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, it's been moved, seconded, and voted upon that you have 60 days to remove this, and that you understand all of this. Okay, and I also would make the suggestion too, you might want to make application for this. I do also have a couple of follow-ups for you all, for this is just for the Taylors. After inspection of your property, where the Taylor Park is located, I'm not familiar with that particular address itself. Do you know what that address is?
I'm guessing it's 125.
It's dated with 123.
125? Okay.
Dated with 123.
It's all
Okay.
one municipal address.
After that inspection, which drew us over there because of the sign, there are 4 other violations that you are in violation of, that you need to be aware of. Of course, within the ordinance. These are 1, the construction of the stage and the sunshade. Number 2, construction of the fencing that is on the property,
We did not put the fence. Oh, you're talking about the wrought iron?
the little wrought iron fence. Number 3,
Historic wrought iron pieces off of the,
We'll probably approve them.
okay,
We'll
just,
probably-
Put
just
your
wait,
application to get
just
approval.
let me finish, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 3, the installation of the light poles with the lanterns. And number 4, the additional of the portable building on the property. All of these are items that always always come before the commission and have to be for the approval. So it's my suggestion that you go to the application office, our office, which is the liaison, you know where Mrs. Chantrell Rock's office is, that you get proper application for all 4 of these items, and that you get on our agenda for our September meeting to where we can address these issues. And because there are a few issues that do really need to be taken care of. Not all of them.
August meeting?
No, sir.
August is too late because it's Monday night.
That's Monday.
So it's too late to get on that agenda. So if you'll please take care of those, it's not major stuff, but it is things that we need to discuss.
It's getting compliance.
It's just following procedures, okay? All right, are there any other comments from the commission?
And thank you, Dr. Striegel, because what you said got us to the other side, and that's what we were trying to get through from the beginning, is to get to the other side as a viable solution. So thank you, Dr. Striegel, for your comments.
Okay, there's been a motion to adjourn. It's been moved. Do I hear a second? Second to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by by Donahoe, seconded by Robinson to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.